Okay, salam alaikum, this is video 8. Okay, so we were at okay, so we were at spiritual teachers have stated it is yeah, in most spiritual cultures, okay, they stated that it is the heart or the soul that matters. Okay, that's most important when in this life. Okay, and as the statement goes, if the man loses his soul but gains the whole world, what good does it do him, right? So the soul is very important. So we don't want the soul repressed, right, by yielding it to a system of exploitation by being placed in a casket system, right, and then placed in the bank, which is really the graveyard for the corpse, right? Okay, to feed off the soul that's been buried in the casket, right? Like Set and Osiris, right? Okay. Now, so we said among spiritual cultures, it's been stated that the heart is the soul is what matters, right? The most, and it's the most important in life. The heart, intellect, has enough passion and empathy to care not only for itself, but to care for others and to care for the whole world. So that is a lot of passion, right? Where the brain doesn't have enough, empathy, compassion, understanding of the world, the complete universe. It'll never understand the complete universe, but the heart can have enough compassion for the whole universe, right? Okay, so it has more passion than we have the ability to be more compassionate than we have the ability to be more intellect, right? So we got it. The heart's intellect weighs more in this life, right? Okay, so as we said, it can care about the whole universe and beyond, right? Thus is the consciousness of the heart. Okay, the consciousness of the cosmos. Okay, it runs off of heart energy, and it has shifted to heart consciousness. The right brain consciousness, right brain heart consciousness, right brain heart intellect. All those who refuse to make the shift from mercurial, physical, left brain consciousness, okay, the physical intellect, or it to be rather than to integrate it with the emotional intellect or heart consciousness, will be faded out, right? They will not be able to ascend, right? They will not be able to transcend the coffin. They won't be able to get through the coffin, right? They won't be able to break through, right? They won't be able to break through to leave the belly, the womb, right, of the dying whore. They won't have the energy, the strength to break through, right? Okay, to ascend into the real world, right? Nor will they be able to connect with those in the real world, because the real world is going to be connected by heart consciousness, right? Heart intel, using mental intellect, right? Our left brain intellect and heart brain intellect, right brain intellect to connect, right? To integrate, to network. Okay, so they won't be able to ascend to the telepathic realm of consciousness, because the telepathic realm involves feeling, right? You got to feel your way through, right? It doesn't necessarily require one to be visual. It requires one to feel. Okay, you don't have to see it to feel it, right? Okay, you don't have to necessarily. You can be told something about what a person is experiencing, and you can basically comprehend what they're feeling, what they're going through, based upon how you feel, based upon what you've been told, how the symptoms that they're feeling, right? Okay, so you can emotionally or empathetically, you can telepathically communicate, right, through your feelings, right? Okay, so that will be that's right brain consciousness, okay, the telepathic realm of consciousness. The difference between the Green Party, Republican Democratic Party, and the Green Party. The Green Party is looking to heal the world, basically. They're basically looking to heal humanity, to heal the natural environment, to work to integrate healing throughout all humanity, right? They're looking to for all humanity to be supported as one body, as one, right? They're looking to institute reparations for the damages done to the African humanity section of humanity during the enslavement in their enslavement in the institution of barbarism, of the brother institution of slavery, right? Because we all know the Vatican started it, right? Okay, the Vatican instituted all slavery, right? Okay, so they must pay those war crimes against humanity, right? Spiritual war crimes. So the Green Party's looking to heal that. We got to have a new system of governance, okay? Of interacting or networking with one another, right? Okay, and we must also go into those catacombs, right? To get all that gold and all that wealth out they've stored from eons of years, right? And that history they've stolen, those books they've stolen, those catacombs, right? And underneath the Vatican. We got to sue the Vatican, right? To take back the wealth that belongs to humanity that they stole from the earth, right? And go into those underground caverns where they got all that food stored, so when the economy collapsed and humanity can feed itself, right? So we've got work to do for within the next the next decade, okay? And we don't even have a decade because they're going to be warring against humanity in the process, okay? So you got a lot of work to do. You got to get that land, right? So you can feed yourself and feed your children. Okay. So those are still stuck in the corpse system, still stuck in the casket, still stuck in the fictitious birth certificate system of the Vatican, that dying system, okay? And those willing to take the FRID chip or RFD chip, okay? And live in the casket thinking they're going to be taken care of, okay? By the beast, think again, okay? You're just going to be stuck in a system where you can't even reach out for help, okay? To the one who created you in the first place, because you accepted to be a slave of the beast, okay? You decided to serve him. Okay, so the both consciousness, left and right, will be integrated. Male and female will be integrated. Heart and mind will be integrated, okay? The humanity will be integrated. The root and the tree, okay, will be integrated to create one whole tree, family tree, right? Okay, so and if you do, you'll be more telepathic, right? Okay. The difference between, as I said, the Green Party and the Democratic Republican war, brother eat brother, brother fuck mother, brother fuck sister, brother fuck anybody system, okay? Of denigration, right? And phallic denigration system, right? There will be total integration of the body man, okay, as he was created from his beginning, from inception of the universe into the universe, right? Okay, so as I said, left brain and right brain, Venusian consciousness or female consciousness, and will be integrated with left brain, male or masculine, which is really solar consciousness, right? Masculine consciousness. Okay. Now, so that will be physical and spiritual intellect, heart and mind united to become a whole man, whole body, right? Okay. Okay, and that will be the new cycle of life, okay, or the new consciousness of life. The story, okay, so, and as we know, the story of time began with the creation of the universe, okay, as we know, the story of life began with the creation of the universe. Thus, the story of man likewise began with the story of the creation of the universe, okay. So, and because man and his woman, okay, it was created in the image of the universe. Man and woman were not created in the image of Allah. They were created in the image of God. They were created in the image of the universe, the perspective of the universe they represent. As was said, the snowflake represents the male, masculine dimension of the universe, and the the snowflake represents the masculine, male aspect of the universe, and the starfish represents the water, right? Represents the female aspect of the celestial universe. Okay, it represents the electromagnetic aspect of the universe, whereas the The snowflake represents direct electrical current, right? Okay. The sensitive soft side of the universe is represented by electromagnetic alternating current, right? Okay. 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 So, and that is the universe, okay? And man and woman, it reflects that. Okay, as we said, she having head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and her, you know, she doesn't have the male phallic, right? So she has represented by 5 angles. The male phallic is represented by 6. His head, his genital, his 2 arms, and his legs. That's 6, the starfish, I mean the snowflake, right? Okay, and that's what the universe reflects, okay? Okay, so, and that represents time, that represents the completion of time, right? The 2 cycles of time, up and down, in and out, okay? Male and female, that's the image of the universe, a reflection of the universe, okay? Now, so it represents the image of the universe. The universe is man and woman, okay? And man and woman are the male and female, okay, are the microcosm of the universe. There is, okay, so there is a male and a female, as I said, aspect of the universe. However, like in the brain divided between right and left hemispheres, okay, the universe is also divided between what could be considered male and female hemispheres. A male-dominated hemisphere, or energy, like direct current, and a female electromagnetic current, hemisphere, right? And let's say matter would interact differently in both hemispheres, right? Or if we look at matter as it relates to intellectual thought, right, then we could say, or inspiration, then we could say it's going to look different, it's going to look different, it's going to sound different in when it's heart consciousness, electromagnetic, and it's going to sound different when it's in just direct energy, okay, or the right hemisphere, okay. It's going to be manifested different, but it's going to be the same, right? Okay, like man and woman, our bodies look different, but we're the same. We come from the same body, right? Okay, okay. So, but one is not dominant over the other, okay? Well, male is more dominant, right? Because that's what Allah said, so we got to go with what Allah said, okay? So that's a dominant, and it is a dominant. It's not only, it's because what Allah said, but it's also what Allah has done, right? Because male was created first, right? The man was created first. Woman was created out of that. So the universe, the female aspect of the universe, was created out of the male aspect of the universe, and therefore the universe of the division, just like the man and woman is divided, right? Okay, so our realities are different. Just like I said, the left brain hemisphere, your consciousness is going to be perceived different than the right brain hemisphere because of the energy difference, right? Okay, okay, okay. So, and as we said, the male is dominant, right? Okay, just like the physical reality appears dominant, it looks dominant. Okay. We can touch it, we can hold it, but we can't grasp it. It's a spiritual. Right brain is not dominant, right? It's not tangible, right? We got to consciously perceive it. Okay, we got to envision it, right? Okay, before we can manifest it, right? Okay. So, as we said, one is heart, one is mind, right? One is spiritual, one is physical intellect. One is left, one is right, one is male, one is female, one is electromagnetic, one is direct energy, right? Okay. One is intuition, one is gained from the intuition is heart consciousness, the one is gained is physical intelligence gained from the when you go to the university, you study the books or you observe the universe or something like that, okay? Something you see with your eyes and all this kind of stuff. Whereas the heart consciousness, you feel it, you feel it, and you connect it with the heart consciousness to get a perception of it, okay? So they both work together. Male and female must work together. Left and right brain hemispheres must be together. And once that integration takes place, right, then you have the pineal gland open, and then you can get that divine inspiration and know what to do with from your heart. You will live from your heart, but manifesting your dreams based upon your intellect. Okay, utilizing your intellect to manifest your dreams. Okay, okay. That inherent programming that was instilled in your heart, right? Okay, with that divine consciousness that you now that you can put it together because you're unfragmented in your mind, right? Because the pineal gland open, right? Okay, so Okay. So intuition and physical consciousness must go together. They're compatible. Okay. Male and female, as male and female. A consciousness divided from energy vibration. Okay. That's what duality is about. Okay. We live in a dual consciousness. We have two arms, two sides to every part of our body. Top lip, bottom lip, male and female. Okay, duality. Right brain, left brain. Even the universe is fragmented, right? In two. Okay. Now, so, and we need to understand both vibrations, both waves of vibrations, right? Okay, the intellect, the consciousness in both vibrations, right? Combined, the universe is consistent of one universe, right? So combined, man and woman is consistent of one body, right? They make one body. When they come together, they make one body, a child. Unless that seed divides, but then that seed divides because the universe divided, right? Was divided, so everything following the pattern of the universe. Then naturally there's going to come a time when there's going to be twins, triplets, and whatever else, okay? Because whatever happens above happens below, right? Whatever happens spiritually happens physically, right? Okay, and that's so that we will understand those physical things. Those spiritual things, because if we see them and we can touch them, they're tangible with our own eyes, so we be able to envision them, right? Okay, so, but nonetheless, they're one body, right? Okay, divided, fragmented, okay? So, the universe was one, like man was one, okay? Like man was one. This is very important, okay? That's why I told you that whole story, that whole scenario, okay? The universe was one, like man, the body of man was one, okay? There was one man. When Allah created humanity, when he got that black soil, that black clay from the earth, he made one man, okay? Okay. Now, okay, as I said, the universe was one before it was divided, just like it was one, right? Because what happened, as I said, the Big Bang, Allah came upon the waters, came upon the universe, he created the universe out of one, right? He organized, he separated, he organized it, just like he got the body of clay, he organized man from the clay, right? And whatever else he used, okay? Okay. And then from that man came woman, right? Just like the woman universe, okay? So, the universe was one, man, like man was one. The universe, which was divided. Okay, so then the universe was organized, right, into constellations, right? And so it was said, we were told 12, but it's actually 13, including sun makes 14 celestial bodies, right? Okay, just like when man and woman come together, they create 14 chakras, right? Because each 7 and 7, there's 14, right? When they come together, they have two heads, right? Just like the universe has two heads, right? Okay. Okay, and so the constellation was divided. The universe was divided into constellations. That constellations represent time, so the universe was divided in time, right? Referred to, and as the paganism refers to that division of time, division of the constellation, division of the planets into, they refer to them as gods, right? Titans, right? Okay. And each titan has its dimension, right? Or its sphere, its piece of pie, right? That it rules. Every 2,000 years, it's decapitated, right? There's a royal decapitation, right? Of a time, right? And who's a time decapitator? It's Kali, right? Calendar, right? The calendar. Linda, the Linder, right? The original Linga, okay? The original Linga, right? Okay, so the calendar decapitates the time. It's the controller of time. It's the real lawkeeper, right? It's the real judge, the one who cuts off the time. Okay, when they go too long, they cut them off. Okay, and nobody can exceed his time, right? Only 2,000 years, right? Okay, because okay. Now, so if we have 26,000 years, and that's divided into what? Each 2,000 years, and we got how many? 26. We got 12. Then that means we have plus 2 more. That means we have 26. That means we have what? 13. That means we have 13 hours a day, right? We should have 13 hours a day, right? If we have 12 hours, that means 26 hours a day. 26, 13, and 13. That's 26 hours. For day and night, right? A whole day. If we have 26 hours, then there goes that leap year. See what I'm saying? So they made that the Julian calendar to hide time, to give themselves more time, and to give you less time. okay, playing games with your lifetime, okay, when you really have more time, and then displacing you as to what house you came out of, where your energy originated, right? Your celestial energy originated, right? Because if they crunch the calendars, crunch the numbers, right, and misplace, oh, you come out of Virgo, or you come out of Capricorn, you come out of this house, and then hide the opposite, because each house has an opposite, and that will be your opposite partner. That will be your ruling house, okay? So they hide that time, and then make you think you're something you're not. You're a character you're not. And then what did it say? I think I read a post that somebody posted about Einstein said if you put a fish in a tree and constantly told him he's a monkey, he gonna constantly look stupid. Because he ain't no freaking monkey, right? He's a fish that belongs in the water. Okay, so you're out of place, right? Out of time and out of place, and out of harmony with the universe, right? And out of time with your life too, because with your purpose too. Because what? Because you don't know what you're doing. You're out of heart consciousness. You're out of sync with your heart. You're told to ignore your heart. Okay? So, yeah. Okay. So the universe was divided into constellations, right? In time, right? And the timekeeper is Kali, right? So time is referred to as gods, right? And each god can only reign 2,000 years, right? Okay. Or they're cut off, and they're cut off, right? They're decapitated. Their time is taken away from them. Okay. So So they're referred to as gods by the pagan Gentile, like the blue bloods of Babylonian Vaticans. Okay, and remember I said they have all those gargoyles above the Vatican Church, and above all the gargoyles is the goat of Mendes, right? So I'm telling you where the religion, their spirituality comes from, right? Okay, it comes from phallic worship, right? Okay, male worship, right? Okay, but more than male as it relates to phallic only, right? Because it's supposed to be phallic and vulva worship, right? Not really worship, but recognition of the energies, okay? Because that's what created the universe. Magnetic energy, electromagnetic energy, and direct energy, right? Okay, and electric energy, right? Electromagnetic and electric energy. Okay? So, I would presuppose to say that is probably why Shaitan or Iblis said he's better than man, because he was created of fire. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he created the angels or the jinn or one of them out of smokeless fire. Smokeless fire is electricity. So if man was created with electromagnetic energy too, okay, then and electromagnetic energy is not as strong, as intense or powerful as direct energy, electricity, right? Then he would seem he's better than man. He's more powerful. That's what he's saying. He's more powerful than man. Okay, but what he didn't realize, just because he was electricity, Allah had given Adam more power, greater power, because he gave Adam knowledge. It's not just about having power, it's about having knowledge too. He gave Adam knowledge how to use the power, because he gave him instruction on how the universe works. And that's why the angels and all that were to bow down to Adam, because Adam had knowledge, and the angels and all that could only do what Allah told them, and they only had knowledge that Allah had given them. Whereas Adam had knowledge what Allah had given him, yes, but Adam also had the free will to use that knowledge to call upon Allah to create, to call into being as well. Okay, by living in harmony with his purpose, he would naturally know what the earth needed, so then he could pray it into being by using manifest it into being by using the energy that's out there in the celestial sphere, right? And in order to do that, he needed to be of both electromagnetic energy and direct energy, okay? Because he would have to utilize them both, because as the universe was created of electromagnetic energy and direct energy or electric energy, right? Because when man they have what, the X and Y chromosome, whereas a woman only has the XX chromosome, the electromagnetic chromosomes, right? Okay. So the universe was divided into 12. Okay, 12 time, okay, was one, then it was divided into 12 constellations, actually 13 now, we know. They're confessing up, right? Because they know the universe is changing, shifting energy, and people are becoming ascending in their wise, and they're going to know this. And many people already know, okay, but you are going to find out. You're going to find out a lot of stuff, because you're going to consciously awake. You're going to come out the coffin, you're going to come out to the light of day, and you're going to look around, and you're going to see, God dang, I didn't know that was like that. God dang, I didn't hear that. God dang, I didn't know that before. God dang, I didn't smell that. God dang, I didn't feel that. God damn, you look good. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of things, okay, that's going to surprise you. But first, you'll get scared. You'll get hella goddamn scared. But if you got good teachers and good people around you support you, you'll be fine. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, when you awaken, you shall be fine. Okay, it's like waking from a nightmare thinking it was fucking reality. Okay, and that's what will be the case. Okay, so the pagans represent all those constellations as gods. Okay, then they give homage to them, and that's why they have the gargoyles on top, and they show them where their religion comes from, which is Egypt, right? Okay, and the worship of the god of that entity or that being, that creature, the goat that represented fertility. Okay, masculine fertility, the goat. Okay, the phallic, right? And when they're supposed to be paying homage to both aspects of the physical energy. And who would do a thing like that? Who only would represent the male energy? It would be who only had the male energy. It would be Shaitan, right? The Iblis. Because he was of electrical energy, right? And so he said he's better than man. So wouldn't he want to cut off man? Wouldn't he want to cut off woman? Okay, so then you think that's why he would want to cut off woman. Okay, that's why he would want to represent the woman and cut off the man's power. Okay, by having him covert with him. Okay, because he only wants to see masculine power because that's what he said in the beginning. He's better than man. Right? Because he's not electromagnetic energy. He's direct energy, right? Okay, so he's saying he's more powerful, right? So he's the only one who wouldn't want to see he wouldn't want to see electromagnetic energy, right? Because he figures that ain't nothing. That ain't powerful for him. That ain't powerful enough for him. So he wants to usurp man of all his electric energy, his masculine power, and make himself more powerful, right? Okay, because the jinn were given free will too. The demons were given free will before they were demons. They had free will like man had free will. Okay, so that's why they're roaming rapid and crazed. Okay, but the angels only do Allah's will. Okay, so the constellation was created, structured in 13 bodies, right? Okay, it was divided, right? Okay. So in between male and female, right? Constellations, right? The up and down, the in and out of the sphere with two heads, masculine and feminine, right? But the Shaitan wants to cut off the feminine head, or he wants to occupy and manipulate the man through it, right? With the blue blood brother fucking, right? Okay, so the universe was one, like man was one. Then it was divided between two, okay, and constellations. I mean, two, male and female energy, magnetic, electromagnetic, two heads, right? One direct energy, one electromagnetic, right? Energies, right? Okay, so and the Gentiles worship that in those constellations and those bodies as gods, right? And we already said the gargoyles and all that above the Vatican, right? Okay, so now we're saying, okay, so man also, because man represents the universe, right? Okay, man represents the whole entire universe. Masculine aspect. He don't represent the whole entire because he don't represent the female, right? Okay. Although he has female, he's of, the female and male are similar, okay, but they're not the same, right? Male has more, he's a bit more powerful, right? Because of that direct energy, right? That testosterone, right? Okay, so him representing the universe, now on the earthly plane, in order to access his power, and that Iblis wanting to act like he was God, right? He wanted to divide man. He wanted to separate man. And who's the man? Who represented the man? The black man, right? Because the body man was created out of black clay. Okay. Now, when it comes to religion and spirituality, you can't sit back and hate because the first man was created black clay, because you need that black clay to absorb all that energy to that root, right? That's going to sustain all the life form in it, right? Okay. Now, the time for racism is over. The time for enlightenment, the time for knowledge is what you need to survive, along with that Holy Quran. Okay. Now, so man was divided too, and he was divided spiritually, right? He was divided spiritually because what they tried to do, okay, they said, okay, since the universe was divided into 12 constellations, we're going to divide with the story of Set, okay? Introduce the story of Set. So man was divided also spiritually. He was divided not into 12 pieces, right? Like they say the constellation, right? But he was divided into 14. Why was he divided? Why did supposedly Set divide him into Osiris's brother Set, who was now known as the Satan, Satan, which is really Saturn, right? Because we'll discuss how Saturn became Saturn, okay, and how he cut man off and all this kind of stuff. We're going to get into that, but we're going to go here. So Seth supposedly cut his brother up in 14 pieces. Why 14 pieces? Because the universe consists of 14 pieces, right? 7 and 7. 7 chakra zones in the woman, 7 chakra zones in the man, 7 chakra zones in the female constellation, electromagnetic energy, 7 chakras in the male constellations, right? But male, that's okay. So, or well, no, not 7 and 7, but 14 aspects of the universe, right? The sun being the 14th aspect, right? So they're cutting off. Seth supposedly cut him into 14 pieces, right? Okay, not 12, but 14, right? Okay, so he cut him into 14 pieces. Seth cut his brother Osiris into 14 pieces. His story goes back to Egypt, right? The beginning of Egypt, between Seth, his brother, and Osiris, right? And it's a story of the creation of the universe. As Allah came upon the universe, it was one. He divided into 2, man and woman, masculine and feminine, electromagnetic energy and masculine energy, or direct energy. Then he divided it into constellations, right? So this is the same story between Set and Osiris, right? So Set divided his brother into 14 pieces, right? So 14 constellations, right? The sun being the head, being the 14th piece, okay? Being 12, which would have been 12, which would, which would be going back to 0, starting with the head, right? The beginning. Okay, so he cut him into 14 pieces and distributed his brother, which was Set, okay, supposed to be his brother, right? His brother Set and Osiris supposed to be brothers, right? Okay, so, but cut him into 14 pieces, distributed his 14 pieces, distributed his body, his 14 pieces throughout the Egypt, right? But throughout Egypt, and well, after he put him in the coffin, right? This goes back to the coffin story. After he put him in the coffin, we're going to go to video 9. Salam alaikum.